Only 7 hours left to prevent another government shutdown. The deadline is midnight. We're awaiting an upcoming vote on a spending bill by the Senate. It's expected to pass there, but uncertain in the House. Democrats once again stalling on the budget to force a fix over Dreamers. Nancy Pelosi pulled a dramatic stunt yesterday, a record-setting 8-hour speech on the floor.
So now we have the first Republican president in modern times, the first president, really, who is anti-immigrant. We're not asking for something off the wall. It is something that is, maybe it is off the wall. Maybe the wall is the issue here. The Republican moral cowardice must end. During the night when I was thinking and praying so hard about our Dreamers, I thought maybe we should just pray all day on the floor of Congress. Maybe I should bring my rosary blessed by the Pope.
Oh, my goodness.
Did it yield any results? Even Democrats aren't happy with the minority leader's performance. One of Nancy's colleagues fell asleep during the speech.
That's brutal. Right?
Another unnamed liberal tells Politico, quote, "This stunt had nothing to do with protecting vulnerable members who have to take a difficult vote." And here's Congressman Luis Gutierrez.
Good for her. I'm happy she's stepping up. I hope now she keeps the fight going. Speeches are great. They're good. They're important. And I'm thankful for the speech. But more important is to maintain your principle, maintain your political principles.
All right, well, this has been said many times before, Kimberly, but I think it's worth repeating. Nancy Pelosi has never stood up that long for veterans, for police officers, for factory workers, for constitutional rights. But when it comes to illegals, she's there for 8 hours.
Or for religious freedom.
or anything.
Yes, exactly. Well, but this just goes to show you where her mindset is, and it's politics and ideology at all expense. And so then the problem is she comes off as not being a very genuine person. It comes off as a sort of, political circus and theatrical, and you lose credibility when you do things like this. And so, this, unfortunately, she's had this reputation for quite some time. She represented my district in San Francisco. It's my ex-husband number one's aunt. What can I say? Interesting Thanksgivings and Christmases.
I can imagine. I feel the same way sometimes.
I'd be back into that.
I think it was your influence, Geraldo.
Yes,
really?
Whenever you're at the table.
Geraldo, Republicans love this. They say, Nancy, do 8, do 16. They want to see more Pelosi. It's a great advertisement. Her face of the Democratic Party. I mean, she's the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, you have to admit it was an impressive physical performance. She outlasted all the guys for the 20th, 21st century. And she did it in high heels. So it's like Ginger Rogers. She did the same thing as Fred Astaire, only dancing backwards in high heels.
How do you know Rand Paul was not wearing high heels? You don't know that.
That's a story I've always wanted to probe.
Poor Rand.
But
we love Rand.
For me, to couple the budgetary process with the Dreamers' plight is a terrible a disservice to the Dreamers, to the DACA. To make them the issue, this inflammatory issue. Immigration raises the hackles of people on both sides, and to make that the headline for the Democrats' point of view on the budgetary process is so unfair and so counterproductive. I just think that, I only wish that I was in charge of this aspect, getting the Dreamers their future secure. I think that Nancy Pelosi did absolutely nothing to further that goal.
And a lot of people in her caucus believe that. They say, you were at the bargaining table, you said this is a good bill, and then you were going to vote against it. What was the point of the stunt?
Well, that is true, although I'm trying to put myself in maybe more of a progressive or a Dreamer shoe, and shoes, high heels even, and looking at it from that perspective. And Nancy Pelosi has been under the gun for a lot of different reasons. Of course, she is the public enemy number one for Republicans. And also there's this intergenerational discussion going on with the Democrats and suggestions that at 77 years old, she needs to move on. And then she showed them that actually I have more stamina than all of you. I'll stand here for 8 hours and I will talk about the issue that the most progressive part of our party cares about. So maybe it doesn't advance the ball legislatively, but perhaps for her politically, it does help her in the midterms with that section of her base.
Pretty impressive. 8 hours, Tom. Have you ever done anything for 8 hours straight?
I mean, it's every day. It's all I do. 8 hours, I'm here at Fox News. I mean, I don't know, 8 hours didn't impress. Why is this a record anyway? I mean, I saw Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He was there for like 2 days. What's the deal?
That's the Senate.
Okay, it's the Senate. And that's what Ted Cruz do? Ted Cruz did 21 hours and everybody made fun of him. I don't think 8 is that impressive.
Okay.
I don't care about the heels.
In high heels.
enough.
In high heels. I mean, these stunts,
Put on
though.
a pair tomorrow and let's talk.
Yeah, actually don't. These stunts have not been working. We've had the Schumer shutdown, the Pelosi marathon speech. They've been boycotting the inauguration. Is there something else besides stunts, Kimberly, that the Democrats have?
No, every day it's like Ripley, believe it or not. What are they going to do next? I mean, what are they actually getting done? How about helping people and coming to the table and working cooperatively? And I say this, for both sides, that everybody needs to do it because the other side has been guilty of the same. So we got to call it out right now. We call it out when we see it from the other side. But let's actually get some traction here and try to do something. Your 8 hours are better spent sitting at the table with key members of the other party or with the president and actually trying to work on something. American people are tired of this dog and pony show, the Pelosi pony show in the heels and not heel. I mean, come on. It's like enough already.
It's true about Ted Cruz, too. I mean, where the Democrats said this is a stunt that will get you nothing, and it didn't get them anything. So elections are the best revenge. I mean, the only thing that you can do to get press when you're in the minority is to do a stunt that will help you. And remember, they don't care that they're not getting good press here. They're getting good press back in their districts or on their blogs. That's what matters to them. They're raising more money than Republicans so far. I think that could change in Q1 of 2018 after the tax reform bill is in and Republicans' numbers, including the president's, are way up compared to then. But for right now, the best thing that they could do is get enough press that they can in their districts, but raise a ton of money and try to win the election. That's the only way that you actually win.
And they're not raising a lot of money. They're in debt on the DNC side. They have a lot of bills to pay. Geraldo, the media is not talking about the split within the Democratic Party. They love to cover splits on the Republican side. But how deep of a split on the left is there over this issue?
Well, the short answer is I don't know that there is a Democratic Party anymore. But I just want to go back to what Kimberly said. How impressive, how surprisingly optimistic was it yesterday when we saw Mitch McConnell agreeing with Chuck Schumer to go forward on a 2-year budget deal, 2 years. There's not going to be 10 minutes, not going to be 2 days, 2-year budget deal. Here they were, the majority leader, the minority leader, standing one after the other, my colleague. I said, my God, that's the way it's supposed to work. And then today we're back to this crap again. I just think that...
It was a mirage.
Yeah, hopefully
maybe it was
we don't have to
I had
keep
tequila
doing this.
too many.
That's what it was, yeah.
Any last words, Shalou, before we move on?
I think they're going to get something done by, even if can they go past midnight? Can they do a little extension? They always like to bring it to the last minute. Okay.
Oh, they can move the clock back?
Yeah.
You can't do
But it'll be
Daylight savings.
11:59. They'll get something done, I think.
All right, now we're going to turn to the resignation of a top White House aide. Staff Secretary Rob Porter leaves his post over accusations of domestic abuse by 2 ex-wives. The latest now from Chief White House Correspondent John Roberts.
Jesse, good afternoon to you. Allegations against Rob Porter have been floating around the White House for some time now, but they reached critical mass on Tuesday night into Wednesday when a photograph, and let's put it up on the screen for you here, of Colby Holderness, who is Rob Porter's first wife, was made public. You see her there with a black eye. She told me that she got that black eye on vacation with her husband, Rob Porter, in Italy when they had an argument, and then he punched her in the eye. She said that she got Porter to take this picture of herself. This was when she got the puffy eye right after the hit, she says, because she wanted to have evidence if it ever happened again. And then she took these photographs herself of her with the bruised and blackened eye. Raj Shah, who was filling in for Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders today, said that he talked with the president about this, and the president's reaction was that of surprise. Listen here.
We all could have done better over the last few hours or last few days in dealing with this situation. But, this was a Rob Porter that I and many others have dealt with, that Sarah dealt with, that other officials, including the chief of staff, had dealt with. And the emerging reports were not reflective of the individual who we had come to know.
Now, when the White House became aware of this really is a question, because Colby Holderness told me that on January the 25th, 2017, more than a year ago, she sat down with agents from the FBI who were conducting a background check of Porter, in which she laid out to these FBI agents numerous episodes of what she called verbal, emotional, and physical abuse, and gave them the pictures that we showed you there on the screen. That background check for his security clearance, Porter's Porter security clearance should have been completed a long time ago, but Raj Shah said today that because of the fact that Porter denies the allegations against him, it extended that investigation and that investigation is still not complete. But we understand that, at least for a period of time here before Tuesday, the Chief of Staff, John Kelly, was aware of this. In a statement that was released early Wednesday afternoon, he offered his full support to Porter, saying, quote, "Rob Porter is a man of true integrity and honor, and I can't say enough good things about him. He is a friend, a confidant, and a trusted professional. I am proud to serve alongside him." But when those photographs came out and the world took a look at what had happened to his first wife, Chief of Staff John Kelly did a dramatic about-face, issuing another statement on Wednesday night where he said, quote, "I was shocked by the new allegations released today against Rob Porter. There is no place for domestic violence in our society. I stand by my previous comments of the Rob Porter that I have come to know since becoming Chief of Staff and believe every individual deserves the right to defend their reputation. I accepted his resignation earlier today and will ensure a swift and orderly transition." That first statement that we showed you, Jesse, was written in part by the White House Communications Director, Hope Hicks, who was romantically involved with Rob Porter. The White House said today that Hope Hicks has recused herself from many of the discussions surrounding Porter today. So we still have not heard from him, Jesse. We don't know his side of the story, but he is still maintaining his innocence in all of this. Jesse?
All right. Well, I don't know. His side of the story means much when you have a black eye, but ugly situation at the White House.
Yes, and John Roberts done great reporting on that story all day because he actually got to talk to the first wife there. I just wanted to make a point on the process, which I don't know if this White House is different, but let me just give you an example about clearances. So, yes, there is an FBI check if you're going to have a top secret clearance or a secret clearance or whatever the compartmentalized one is called now, SCI. But if you're going to be a top White House employee, the White House counsel's office brings you in and there's a one-on-one conversation about you. And it is an uncomfortable conversation. They ask you things that you don't ever want to talk about in public, but it's because they want to make sure that you do not have anything that could hurt the President of the United States. Now, maybe they did this process, maybe he didn't think he had anything that would be a problem, but then the FBI knows about it. They alert them. I do think it's a real disservice to the president to not let him be aware of it, because then he could have made a decision and avoided a week's worth of this terrible coverage and what looks like some really bad underlying facts at the White House.
Yeah,
I feel awful for Hope Hicks. She's such a wonderful communications director. Got romantically involved in this guy, obviously didn't know his background. But once you hit a woman, man, you deserve all the shame, all the blame society is going to heap on you.
Yeah, very sad situation. All right, new developments in an ongoing Clinton scandal up next.
An update now on the Uranium One scandal involving the Clintons and a bribery scheme set up by the Russians. Fox News has obtained statements from an FBI informant's interview with congressional committees. The man says Russian nuclear officials told him Moscow hired an American lobbying firm for $3 million in hopes of influencing then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton through contributions to her family's foundation. Here's the lawyer for that informant.
The Democrats are out there trying to attack anybody who is telling the truth about Hillary Clinton, and we'll just stake those things and bounce back at them. My client, Doug Campbell, was so credible. I mean, he came out because he thought he was dying from cancer, and he wanted his story to be told.
A Clinton spokesman calls the testimony a distraction. Okay, Dana, what do you make of this?
I don't actually know. I do think that the Russians have more money than sense, because they are always offering to give millions of dollars to things that aren't going to actually have an impact. If they thought that the CFIUS process was one that they could game by just giving money to one person of the 12-person committee, then they weren't making a lot of sense. APCO, the firm that the informant says was the lobbying firm, they say that the informant doesn't have things quite right, so I don't exactly know there. Then back to the CFIUS thing, there were I think it was 12 people that have to look at it from different agencies. There was no objection from any of them. And apparently Hillary Clinton never went to one meeting. So I'm not sure about this scandal.
Okay, all right. So we have a big question mark
Yep,
about
I'm gonna put a
this.
question mark on it.
Tom?
I buy it.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. He's my Huckleberry. He's like,
Scandal. I'm like, you sold me. I believe it. I mean, the thing is, the way the Clintons, when their scandals, they're so multi-layered. I read that book, Clinton Cash. I didn't understand it, so then I got the comic book version of it, and I feel like I understood it. But there's so much. I mean, it never ends with the Clintons, and with this Clinton Foundation, it's so multi-layered. But yeah, I believe every word of it.
he's like, I'm all in.
So honest.
All right.
This has been around so long that the uranium half-life is already expired. I mean, it's ridiculous. Doug Campbell, I'm sorry to say, I love Victoria Tensing, his lawyer, and her husband, Joe DeGenova. I've known him forever. But Doug Campbell, this informant, was an informant on another case, and the feds decided not to use him because he had credibility problems. I think this is such a bunch of baloney. It should be historic. Put it away. The Clintons also should be in history books. Now let's look forward. That's what I say.
Ay, Dios mío.
This is the most boring Clinton scandal, but I still enjoy reporting it.
Give us a big smile, Jimmy.
So Moscow, I guess, takes this lobbying company in America, and they funnel millions of dollars through it with the hope of getting it to the Clinton Global Initiative to create a favorable environment to get the Uranium One deal done and the atomic energy deals done. Vladimir Putin, according to the witness, said, this was easy. I can't believe the Obama administration is such a bunch of suckers. And we're going to take over the uranium industry in North America. When you couple it with this fact pattern, though, in 2009, you had Russian operatives, according to the FBI and the Hill, kickbacks and bribes to American officials to gain leverage on atomic energy deals here. And then you have over $100 million that flowed into the Clinton Foundation from Uranium One interests. And then Bill Clinton got paid $500,000 by a bank in Moscow linked to the Uranium One deal. So when you add all this up, what I don't understand is, why would the Obama administration allow the Russians at all to have a third of the uranium deposits in North America?
Exactly.
If
Who told you about Putin's motives? I mean, what's your source for that? His classic comic book?
But,
it's a good book.
I need the cliff notes on that.
Yeah.
But just for perspective, this seems more of a national security threat to give the Russians all the uranium than a bunch of Russian bots on Twitter.
I don't think the Russians have any of our uranium. I'm sorry to say.
Well, reporting does say that it goes to Canada, and then it did get shipped into the European countries.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, he's not too sure. You're not buying it.
I think that there are so many more interesting stories and interesting probes. You asked me earlier about the Democratic Party.
Yes.
The fact that there is no Democratic Party. Everyone says there's going to be a big wave. Are you going to be a far left-wing Democrat? You're going to be a moderate Democrat? Are you going to try and work with the other side? Are you going to be like a neo-progressive socialist Bernie? I mean, that's an interesting story, the fracturing of our two-party system. This Uranium One, it just seems to me, it smacks of going back to what Hillary did in college.
No, I'm interested in what she did in college. Let's get to that. We have that next.
Wellesley exposed.
That's the Fox News Scandalous, Part 27, by popular demand. Fabulous, darling. Here we go again. Yesterday was Biden, and today it's Eric Holder. Team Obama just can't let up on President Trump. Ahead.
The 2020 bench for Democrats has gotten deeper. Joe Biden's not ruling out a run, and neither is President Obama's Attorney General Eric Holder, both not holding back on President Trump.
I think any one of my kids would make a better president than Donald Trump. But I think there are any number of people who would be a better president than the person we now have in the White House, who has, as I said, broken through those norms, conducted himself in a way that's inconsistent with what's best about this nation. I will make a decision at the end of this year about what I want to do with regard to higher office.
The former head of the DOJ is also sharing his thoughts on the Mueller investigation.
If one looks at the dismissal of James Comey and the reasons why the president told Lester Holt he did that, if you look at the president's attempts to try to get people who were the heads of the intelligence agencies to get involved in this matter, if you look at the president's actions on the airplane with regard to that statement, there are a variety of other things. I think you technically have a case of obstruction of justice.
All right, KG, former Attorney General running. Good for the law?
You know, I'm going to be 100% consistent. I'm not a fan. I never have been, because I think he really politicized the office. And he's one to talk about the President of the United States and the job that the President's done and whether he's fit for office, because he himself was held in contempt. So, you know, I'm not looking too favorably upon him. I'm sure he seemed like a political animal at the time, so I'm 0% surprised that he's going to run for office.
Geraldo, you mentioned already on the show that the Democrats as a party are having some problems. Would somebody like an Eric Holder help them?
Well, he was held in contempt of Congress, not of court. It was a total political hatchet job engineered by Darrell Issa, who destroyed his own political career by aggressively going after Eric Holder. I detest the way the former Attorney General speaks of the President of the United States. It's so disrespectful. Everything that Trump does is construed as in the most evil way possible by Eric Holder and his compadres there. Would he be okay for future office? I guess I wouldn't think on a national platform, but I don't know even what state he's in. He's spending a lot of time in California, I know. Maybe if Kamala Harris does it and Eric Holder were to run for her seat or something like that. He's a very engaging guy. I like him a lot in person. But again, I think that we have to stop this belittling. We only get one president at a time. And my wife and I argue about this, I'm sure, in every American household. The level of disrespect that is permitted because Donald Trump is the president is a new low. And to me, it precludes the person uttering the insult of the president from running for higher office, I think.
All right, Jesse?
I mean, I think the Democrats know they're in trouble for trying to frame Trump, and paychecks are getting fatter, and Trump's approval rating's up, and taking back the House is no sure thing anymore. So they're trotting out all of these high-caliber Democrats to try to land shots against the president and rally the base. I don't think it's working. It looks desperate, and it's kind of not befitting of these elder statesmen in the party. I would love for Holder to run for president. He's got no fundraising ability. I don't think he's got a lot of charisma, despite you guys hanging out off camera. And I don't think he has mass appeal. So I say go for it. Dilute the party. We'll probably have 18 Democrats running against President Trump, and there is no obstruction case. I don't see it. You have to have a crime to obstruct. You have to show criminal intent to obstruct. Getting rid of Comey's not obstruction.
It's a technical
it didn't stop the investigation. Yeah. Hillary bleached her emails. How's that not obstruction?
And kept the server in her toilet, her bathroom.
Back to the Clinton scandal.
Yes.
Here on Fox
And there was
News.
uranium in the
Keep it
commode.
going, Tom.
Part 28.
Well, I agree. Charisma isn't the half of it. I mean, Jeb Bush just called him low energy. I mean, he has no, national politician appeal, I think.
Right.
He speaks like an academic or whatever.
No
but
zing.
Yes. So, no, I think that was just a cute thing, like, president for 2020. I don't think I would think his prospects are zero.
I do think that we're going to have about 18 Democratic candidates in that primary, Kimberly.
It's going to be like ours last time, where it was like all of them up on the stage, one by one.
Two
who's
levels of debates.
Who's going to be the Trump? Who's going to emerge as the charismatic central figure?
Have no idea. That's why you have to keep watching Fox.
They're going to kill each
It's
other.
far left, though. The far left is going to win.
The
He's
primary,
right,
the
though.
Democrat primary?
Yes.
Look out for Kamala Harris.
All right, you heard it here first from Tom Shalhoub. All right, at long last, Omarosa is back on reality TV after a turbulent stint in the White House, and she didn't disappoint. Next.
Every time I hear that song, I'm standing in the pouring rain on your front lawn.
Why should your
Her flamboyant marriage reception and then her rocky exit from the White House seemed like a show of its own. Now, Omarosa is back on her home turf, reality TV, making her grand entrance to decidedly mixed reviews on Celebrity Big Brother.
Omarosa. When people ask me who you don't want to see in the house, my answer was Omarosa. I can't do toxicity and negativity. Oh my Omarosa.
I was on a show called The Apprentice.
Oh, right on.
15 years ago, so you would have been like 2.
Who was the person you were apprenticing for?
Donald Trump.
Wow.
The ex-Trump aide has promised a tell-all, as you know, about her tumultuous time in the Trump administration, and she dropped another teaser on that last night.
Here in the Big Brother house, there's a lot of people who want to stab you in the back. Kind of similar to the White House. So believe me, it's game on. I'm exceptional in everything that I do and I aspire to do. I was the queen of the boardroom. Now I'll be the queen of the Big Brother house. Celebrities, you better watch your back.
4 times she was on Celebrity Apprentice. I was never on with her. She was with Brandy Glanville and Keisha Knight, Pullman, my castmates on Celebrity Apprentice. But she's threatening this tell-all, Kimberly, about her time as the only black woman in the Trump administration. Do you think that should be feared by the president?
Only because it's Omarosa. I mean, whether black woman or not, Omarosa is an individual unto herself. Like, do you know anybody else like her? I don't.
But she's so powerful. I mean, she's very strong.
I don't think she's going to say anything bad about the president. I do not.
You really don't?
I don't. I don't think she's going to say anything bad about the president. I think she's going to say a lot about everybody around him and who is working there. 100%, because she's not gonna mess around with him.
I hope that's true. I hope that's true. But I'm not at all.
She might need something from him in the future. Trust me, she's not gonna blow it.
She's the empress. That's a good point. She's the empress of drama. The rating, she's killing it. She could win this. Do you think that this will blend politics and reality TV even more than it has been?
Yes, I do, and it's going to be good for Omarosa, and Omarosa's always been about Omarosa. I think the real star of the show is Ross the intern, the high-pitched voice guy at the top.
That's a pretty good interview.
Captivating. Yeah, no, I like that guy. Apparently, she invited her entire wedding party to the White House and didn't tell anybody, and then stole all of the White House Christmas party invitations, and then passed them around to all of her friends and family throughout the country.
And that was just on a Wednesday.
And that was just that was 1 week. So listen, I've met her before. She was fine. She was nice to me. I mispronounced her name, and she scolded me, and now she scares me. So I wish her the best of luck.
Do you have any tape?
Dana, what do you think it says about the Trump administration that she was hired in this community outreach position, and then they try to keep her from the president?
I think that presidents like to have people around them that they know and that they trust and that they believe can do a good job. And even though she was, as Raj Shah said today at the White House, she was fired 3 or 4 times from Apprentice. The president knew her, likes her. I'm sure he's probably a little frustrated that she's causing drama now that she's on the outside. But everyone has their calling. She did the White House for about a year, and now this maybe suits her better.
So do you, same question I asked Jesse, do you think that she's going to, which would you rather, Tom, to be on Celebrity Big Brother or to work for the Trump administration?
I would like to go up against you on Dancing with the Stars,
Even Tucker Carlson lasted longer than I did.
And to correct Jesse, Ross is not an intern anymore.
Oh, he got the promotion.
Yeah, he's not Ross the intern.
Okay.
But I'm sad that Omarosa is not in the White House. It doesn't seem right. When she went into the White House, it was the promise of a Trump presidency. I mean, it was like it all made perfect sense. Yes.
I know when he picked Omarosa, and then people said he was friends with Mike Tyson, and that was the net of his community outreach. I feel bad. I think the president really gets a bum rap. But I do think that there is a weakness in the Trump administration that has to do with diversity, with outreach, with inclusion. Too many statements come out offhandedly that hurt people, like the whole S-hole business. I would like, to me, that's where he needs the most improvement in his second year.
Are you offering yourself and your services?
Is that what this is about?
But you know,
a campaign.
But seriously, she said that about the Trump tweets.
Sure.
How she used to cringe when he was tweeting. I do think the president could use a Twitter editor.
Are you volunteering
That's a job
yourself?
I would love to have.
She also said no.
Yes, you've never tweeted anything controversial.
No, that's all we need. Shirtless President Trump. Perfect.
Adam Schiff will be like, send it over.
But they were portraying this as negative. Someone said, "Is America going to be okay?" And she said, "No, it's not going to be okay." Well, that's not, the phrase is make America great again, not make America okay again.
She's off message.
So, yeah, no, I mean, it's not going to be okay.
Fake news.
But
That'd be great.
I come back to where I started. The fact is that this program opened with gigantic ratings, just like ours. Behold the new emojis of 2018. That's the big reveal coming up next.
In case you're having trouble finding the right emoji to express yourself, you're in luck. 157 new ones are being added to the mix later this year. New smiley faces, new animals, and new hair colors. Redheads who have felt left out will now have plenty of lookalikes to pick from.
Nice.
I do think they are missing 5 they could add, though. The 5 of us.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I like Geraldo's is excellent.
Yeah, really.
Thanks.
Wait. Is that short hair on me?
I think it's just that
You can't go longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not
I think
enough
I'm
room.
tanner than that.
Yeah, you are.
bad. I
And
need
also
a
the
little-
hair
Me
is
too.
a little.
Oh no, I'm sort of
See,
brown.
Mine looks like all the other ones I already have.
I can't see.
Do you use, Dana,
can't-
you're
no,
big
they
emojis,
didn't
right?
do
Do
a
you
good
use
job.
emojis
No,
in
they
your
did.
communication?
I like to use an emoji for fun communications, yes. Sometimes I will explain a whole story using just emojis.
Really?
Yes.
Like
that's
that? Like what's
lazy.
going on there?
Yeah.
Someone went to
Isn't that
yoga
lazy?
that had Chinese food.
Chinese food. And
It's a new form of communication. I love communication. Sure, you bet.
And then
Jesse.
not sure. And then is that a porcupine?
I think it's hedgehog.
Do
No,
guys?
hedgehog. And then they had some broccoli. And then they
Yeah, it's great.
hung out with a girl with red eyebrows.
Oh, that's that obscure
Jesse,
Winter Olympics
This segment's
sport.
going off the rails here.
And
Yeah.
broccoli.
You're supposed to be in charge.
I know,
Shalane.
but I mean, what, you guys are reading all your
Pull the
emojis.
barber
It's not a very
shop
manly
quartet.
thing. I don't emoji, Jesse. It makes me feel weird.
Okay, well, my emoji game's strong. I just got into it this year.
Really?
I think it makes you less masculine if you use emojis, but I'm so secure in my masculinity and sexuality that I will use emojis quite frivolously. Sometimes so frivolously, people say enough with the emojis, Waters, but I like them. I think they're creative and they get the point across
Wait, who
that
says that to
English
you,
language
Waters?
can't always deliver.
Geraldo, they're getting very multicultural now. Everyone has to have their own emoji.
Yes.
I'm
Do you have
surprised-
any of my emojis in there?
you
My daughter, my 12-year-old, made up my my emoji.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, beer.
What are you wearing?
I don't know,
Oh,
soap
taking a
suds.
shower?
Sold my
Are you
12-year-old.
producing Tom's segment? Is that what happened?
Wow, I didn't know we had a call for.
Or all those calling?
Surprise!
I called.
Surprise.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't know you could
I
have
came,
a
I
call for in
called like
someone
hungry.
else's segment.
Geraldo at large.
Is that it, Tom?
He's trying to help you out here. He's just
Why
doing some
is
elements.
it that we
What?
just got to redheads? I mean, we've had everything up until now.
Are
I'm
you
just getting-
redhead?
No respect.
I used to be. I don't know. It's like, back in the
Is that
old days,
break?
I was considered. Some people still call me a redhead. I mean, I have a redhead-looking face, don't I?
The Adam Schiff look. That's your look. Where's that side by side?
The
Do
guy
we
that
have
gets
that?
sunburned.
It's all kinds of redheads. Kimberly,
What?
do you use? I bet you, do you use emojis?
No, I don't like mine.
Oh, she's upset.
Oh,
They didn't do a nice job on her emoji.
Okay, could America help her with a new emoji, please?
Yeah, right.
Great
Fans?
idea.
I would like
That's
a
some great
nice
artists.
one. It look fabulous.
I do think sometimes
It looks
because
Latina.
you know
That didn't
emails or
look
text
Latina.
messages can be misconstrued for tone.
Yes.
That sometimes if you add an emoji, you can make sure people know that you're just joking, or maybe you're really mad or something. You know what I mean? It helps a little bit.
That's why I think that I don't want to get it. This could be very controversial in this Me
okay.
Too generation.
Shoot.
Women use punctuation. Women use exclamation points
No,
more.
not if they read. And the good news is, that's a no-no.
Yeah, I know you're against it, right?
Yeah.
And
Too many.
I think it
with your
doesn't help.
voice
It
at the
doesn't
end
help,
of a
especially in the
sentence.
workplace. It doesn't help you advance and get promoted if you're always using exclamation points and needlessly making things urgent when they're not urgent.
All
and
caps.
sounding like you're all all caps. That whole thing.
Was it Mark Twain who said
Speak with
exclamation
your voice
points is
going up
laughing at
the
your
end
own
of the
joke?
sentence.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one. And
That's a good
also,
one.
don't use like anything more than one question mark is unnecessary. Just one question mark is all you
How
need.
about this? I got to run this by Dana. I think this is
Okay.
like a guy thing. Guys tend to, instead of writing the email, they put the entire email in
the
the
subject
title
line?
of the subject.
You should be banned from email. Banned from email. No.
Well, one more thing. Can I end the segment?
God help you.
One more.
Burn it up. I swear it's simple to the
It's time now for one more thing, Dana.
So, you know, Valentine's Day is next Wednesday, everybody, so don't forget if
What
you
are
have
you
a
gonna
loved
get me?
one. Oh, just wait for that. And one daughter had a very special gift idea for her mom, but she wasn't the only one. Watch this.
Happy early dawn. You better not have. We're gonna miss what's
So, Natalie Rice of Jefferson City, Missouri, decided to get her mom a blue heeler puppy after their beagle, Remington, died. He was hit by a car. But her mom, Teresa, had the same idea, but with a Labrador puppy, and they came back on the same day, and they were very worried to tell the dad, because he might be mad, but they have announced that everyone's very happy. They're
I'm
keeping
not walking it. You're walking it.
How dare you? So now they've got two puppies.
That's my house.
That's right. I like Remington's a great name, too, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Kimberly.
Hi, Jesse. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, so little Mason, so cute, but he's mischievous, was enjoying some food at a restaurant in Florida when he decided he wanted a stuffed animal. Now, have you ever done that where you like want it so bad? I always wanted these animals. So what happened is he climbed in.
In case you're having trouble finding the right emoji to express yourself, you're in luck. 157 new ones are being added to the mix later this year. New smiley faces, new animals, and new hair colors. Redheads who have felt left out will now have plenty of lookalikes to pick from.
Nice.
I do think they are missing 5 they could add, though. The 5 of us.
Yeah. I like Geraldo's is excellent.
Yeah, really.
Thanks.
Wait. Is that short hair on me?
I think it's just that
You can't go longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's not
I think
enough
I'm
room.
tanner than that.
Yeah, you are.
bad. I
And
need
also
a
the
little-
hair
Me
is
too.
a little.
Oh, no, I'm sort of
See?
brown.
Mine looks like all the other ones I already have.
Jesse, I can't see.
Do you use, Dana,
can't-
you're
no,
big
they didn't
emojis, right?
do
Do
a
you
good
use
job.
emojis
No,
in
they
your
did.
communication?
Is it blue
I like to
eyes?
use an emoji for fun communications, yes. Sometimes I will explain a whole story using just emojis.
Really?
Yes.
Like
that's
that? Like
lazy.
what's going on there?
Yeah.
Someone went to
Isn't that
yoga
lazy?
and had Chinese
Yoga,
food.
Chinese food. And they
It's a
had
new form of
dumplings.
communication. I love communication. Sure, you bet.
And then
Jesse.
not sure, and then is that a porcupine?
I think it's hedgehog.
Do
No,
guys?
hedgehog. And then they had some broccoli, and then they
Yeah, it's great.
hung out with a girl with red eyebrows.
Oh, that's that obscure
Jesse,
Winter Olympics
This segment's
sport.
going off the rails here.
And
Yeah.
broccoli.
You're supposed to be in charge.
I know,
Philip.
but I mean, you guys are reading all your
Pull the
emojis.
barber
It's not a very
shop
manly
quartet.
thing. I don't emoji, Jesse. It makes me feel weird.
Okay, well, my emoji game's strong. I just got into it this year.
Really?
I think it makes you less masculine if you use emojis, but I'm so secure in my masculinity and sexuality that I will use emojis quite frivolously. Sometimes so frivolously, people say enough with the emojis, Waters, but I like them. I think they're creative, and they get the point across
Wait, who
that
says that to
English
you,
language
Waters?
can't always deliver.
Geraldo, they're getting very multicultural now. Everyone has to have their own emoji.
Yes.
I'm
Do you have
surprised-
any of my emojis in there?
You
My daughter, my 12-year-old, made up my emoji.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, beer.
What are you wearing?
Oh, taking a shower?
Sold my.
Are you
12-year-old.
producing Tom's segment? Is that what happened?
Wow, I didn't know we had a call for.
Geraldo's calling.
Surprise!
I called.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't know you could
I
have
came,
a call
I
for
called,
in
I
someone
conquered.
else's segment.
It's Geraldo at large.
Is that it, Tom?
He's trying to help you out here. He's just
Why
doing some
is
elements.
it that we
What?
just got to redheads? I mean, we've had everything up until now.
Are
I'm
you
just getting-
redhead?
No respect.
I used to be. I don't know. It's like, back in the
So
old days,
gray?
I was considered. Some people still call me a redhead. I mean, I have a redhead-looking face, don't I?
The Adam Schiff look. That's your look. Where's that side by side?
The
Do
guy
we
that
have
gets sunburned.
It's all kinds of redheads. Kimberly,
What?
do you use? I bet you, do you use emojis?
No, I don't like mine.
Oh, she's upset.
Oh,
They didn't do a nice job on her emoji.
Okay, could America help her with a new emoji, please?
Yeah, right. Don't
Great
you?
idea.
I would like
That's
a
some great
nice
artists.
one. Look fabulous.
I do think sometimes
It looks
because
Latina.
you know
That didn't
emails or
look
text
Latina.
messages can be misconstrued for tone.
Yes.
That sometimes if you add an emoji, you can make sure people know that you're just joking, or maybe you're really mad or something. You know what I mean? It helps a little bit.
That's why I think that I don't want to get. This could be very controversial in this Me Too generation.
Shoot.
Women use punctuation. Women use exclamation points
No,
more.
not if they read. And the good news is, That's a no-no.
Yeah, I know you're against it, right?
Yeah.
And
too many.
I think it doesn't help.
voice
It
at the
doesn't
end
help,
of a
especially in the
sentence.
workplace. It doesn't help you advance and get promoted if you're always using exclamation points and needlessly making things urgent when they're not urgent.
All
and
caps.
sounding like you're all caps, that whole thing.
Was it Mark Twain who said exclamation points is laughing at your own joke?
Yeah, that's a good one. And
That's a
also,
good one.
don't use like anything more than one question mark is unnecessary. Just one question mark is all you
How
need.
about this? I got to run this by Dana. I think this is like a guy thing. Guys tend to, instead of writing the email, they put the entire email in the
subject
title
line?
of the subject.
You should be banned from email. Banned from email. No.
Well, one more thing. Can I end the segment?
Please. God help you.
One more.
It's time now for one more thing, Dana.
So, Valentine's Day is next Wednesday, everybody, so don't forget if
What
you
are
have a
you
loved
gonna
one.
get me?
Oh, just wait for that. And one daughter had a very special gift idea for her mom, but she wasn't the only one. Watch this.
Happy early dawn. You better not. We're going to miss what's
So, Natalie Rice of Jefferson City, Missouri, decided to get her mom a blue heeler puppy after their beagle, Remington, died. He was hit by a car. But her mom, Teresa, had the same idea, but with a Labrador puppy, and they came back on the same day, and they were very worried to tell the dad, because he might be mad, but they have announced that everyone's very happy and they're keeping.
I'm not walking it. You're walking it.
How dare you? So now they've got two puppies.
That's my house.
That's right. I like Remington's a great name too, by the way.
Oh my God.
Kimberly.
Hi, Jesse. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, so little Mason, so cute, but he's mischievous, was enjoying some food at a restaurant in Florida when he decided he wanted a stuffed animal. Now,